Welcome to Golf Training Hacks and part 4 in our series on powering your golf swing by tuning up your cross crawl pattern. In this video, we'll work on crawling. Crawling is a basic human movement. Everyone should be able to get down on the floor and crawl unless you have a chronic illness or injury that prevents you from safely getting down on the floor and crawling. But if you don't have one of those issues, crawling is a great way to build strength and coordination. You'll find that if you accumulate time on the floor, whether it be through time or sets and reps with crawling, you will build strength and you will build coordination. Now, if you've taken the assessment in part 3 where we assessed how well you crawl, and that was easy, don't think that you shouldn't be crawling as part of your training routine, because crawling progressions can be very challenging. So, if you have no issues that would prevent you from getting down on the floor safely and crawl, then let's get started with crawling. So let's work on some basic crawling progressions. Now, you don't have to just do a stationary crawl. You can crawl for distance. You can also crawl for time. And if you're doing a stationary crawl like we'll be doing here because we're limited in space, you can do crawling for reps. Now, if you haven't done any crawling movements, you haven't exercised much and your fitness level is kind of low and you might need to get a place to start, you can start by simply getting on all fours and moving one leg and one arm at a time. So just try to get some distance so that you're putting pressure on the post leg. So if you really feel like you're deconditioned, that's a good place to start for your arms. And then you can start like this for your legs and hips. Then you can begin to put things together. So try to reach as far as you can, come back, and then move the opposite side leg back. Go forward and come back. So that's progression 1. If you're really deconditioned and you haven't done this much, that's a great place to start. So let's do a basic crawl. Now, for a basic crawl, as I said, you can crawl for distance, you can crawl for time, but in a basic stationary crawl, you can do it for reps as well, or you can do it for time. A basic stationary crawl is very simple. It's like the test we did with the evaluation. It's simply trying to land the foot and the leg together. All right, in a basic crawl, you're trying to land the foot and the leg together. And you can do this for time, you can do this for repetitions. But you can also crawl laterally. You don't have to just crawl forwards and backwards. So in a lateral crawl, it would look like this. Now you're going to move opposite arm and opposite leg, but you're going to go laterally. And again, you want to try to land everything together and try to make it as smooth as you can. So that's a second progression, but actually that's the basic stationary crawl, either forward and backwards or laterally. The next progression is an elevated crawl. Once again, you can do this for time, for distance. If you're doing an elevated stationary crawl, you can do it for time or for reps. So once again, we're going to start on our all fours, but now we're going to raise our knees off the ground and we're going to crawl. You want to land your foot and your hand together. That's the key. You want to show control. So from the front, once again, you want to show control. So it shouldn't look like this where you're doing something like this. Okay, you need to land with control. That's an elevated basic stationary crawl. This technique is an elevated lateral crawl. Now you don't have to crawl backwards and forwards. You can go side to side. You can even spin. So there's many ways you can crawl and you can get creative with it, but a lateral crawl would look like this. So a lateral crawl elevated, once again, your knees are up, right? So you're going to get your knees up and then you're going to crawl side to side. Once again, you want to land together. You don't want it to look like this. Okay, you want to land everything together. That's a basic lateral crawl, elevated. This technique is the lateral plank crawl. So you can crawl laterally in a plank position. You don't have to be in your basic crawl position. So you can get into a plank and you can crawl laterally. Now, obviously, if you can't do a plank, well, it's going to be hard to do a plank crawl. So the first step to being able to crawl with this technique would be to be able to do a plank. So you get into a plank position, and then you're going to move laterally. And you're going to try to land together, right? You don't want it to look like this, one foot, one leg. You want to land together. Another great exercise. This technique is a circular crawl. So you don't have to just crawl forward and backwards or side to side. You can actually crawl in a circle. So I'm going to put this tee down to have a pivot point. I'm going to get in my starting position. I'm going to elevate, and then I'm going to spin around this position and try to keep my center over this tee. That's the circular crawl. At Golf Training Hacks, we not only want you to play better golf, but we want you to move better and feel better every day, so you can play the best golf of your life for the rest of your life.